Welcome everyone to the Oshkosh Chambers being hosted with Smart IS this morning. Transform your business with the Microsoft 365 Office Suite. I'd like to introduce Caitlin McWilliams. She is going to be the spokesperson this morning. From a logistics standpoint, just a couple things. It is a webinar, and so if you would, I see people joining us right now. That's excellent. And if you would like to chat at any point, there is a chat screen on the bottom. I know that all of us have lived with this now since March, but just in case, just to reiterate again, please chat, and Caitlin will be watching that and will be your voice for this process. You can ask a question at any point, and really excited to be able to kick this session, this series off. And Caitlin, the other thing that I want to point out is that the session is being recorded, and we will be uploading that later on today, so that if any of your associates were unable to this meeting, you can watch it later on. So with that, Caitlin McWilliams.
Thank you, Patty. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining for our first session within our Transform Your Business with Microsoft 365 Suite, which is a 4-part Zoom series. My name is Caitlin McWilliams, and I'm a marketing specialist here at Smart IS, and I'll be helping to facilitate the event today. So before we get started, I'd just like to go over a few of those points of general info that Patty covered. So feel free to use the chat option, and we can assist you with anything you need. We'll also be doing a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions that you would like to submit, you can do that with the questions tab. And for future sessions, as you know, this is the first one within our Microsoft 365 series. So we will be presenting a total of 4. And in this series, Smart IS will explore the collaborative and productivity tools of the Microsoft 365. And these sessions will include a review of Teams, SharePoint Online, the Power Platform, and how each of these tools can be leveraged to overcome common challenges that a business may encounter. So a little bit about the session highlights. We will be doing an introduction to enterprise collaboration tools. We will be discovering the business benefits of Teams, SharePoint Online, and the Power Platform, as well as discussing the power and key features of Microsoft's 365 Cloud Suite. And we will be doing a getting started with the Microsoft 365 best practices and ensuring that we're doing it right. And please feel free to visit the Oshkosh Chamber website for more details on the future sessions as well. So with that, let's get started. I'd like to introduce Javad, the president and COO at Smart IS, who will be speaking for a few minutes about our organization.
Thank you, Caitlin, and welcome everyone. As Caitlin already introduced the topic, so I'll just quickly walk you through the agenda. I will take a few minutes to introduce who we are, just kind of establish the perspective, and then we'll talk about, I'll introduce the speakers, and I'll just leave you in good hands after that, and I will actually step aside. But just very quickly, we have been a consulting firm that has been in the area since about mid-90s. We were incorporated in Naperville, Illinois, back in 1988, but we moved to Oshkosh area primarily because the majority of our customer base at the time was in the Fox Valley area. We have had the privilege to work with a lot of local businesses like Oshkosh Corp, Plexus, Myron, and others that are names that everybody recognizes in the area. But we also have a footprint that goes beyond that, and we have been working with national and international organizations. Ironically, at the moment, we probably do more outside of the state of Wisconsin than inside. But nonetheless, at this time, we are more focused in terms of, so we are a project-driven, project-based consulting firm. We focus on management consulting, technology consulting, and managed services. Managed services is a component that allows us to, provide continuous support to the work that we have developed. We operate out of 3 locations. We have our corporate headquarters in Oshkosh, and we have a sales office in Germany, and then we have a center of excellence in Pakistan. As a matter of fact, Haris is joining us from Pakistan, and he is one of the general managers in Pakistan and leads our Microsoft and custom development teams in Pakistan. Next slide, please, Hamid. What our focus is in terms of technology, we are a Microsoft certified partner at the gold level, but beyond that, we also have a practice in Oracle, PeopleSoft, Blue Yonder. We have custom development capabilities, and we focus on PHP, .NET, and then also on e-commerce platforms. We also have capabilities in custom development around mobile applications, and we focus on both iOS and Android applications. So with that, next slide, please. I will introduce both Hamid and Haris. Hamid is the practice manager in US, so he's right here in Oshkosh, and Haris is joining us, as I said, from Pakistan, and he is the consulting director there. Both of them have been with us for many years, and they are very capable, Microsoft technicians. So with that, today's focus is mostly, as Caitlin already introduced, is to establish the business case, the value proposition for a collaboration tool to begin with, but then how Microsoft stacks up in that. So our focus very quickly is going to shift to Microsoft. Today's session is just the teaser session to get started. As Caitlin outlined, the next 3 sessions are going to take one of the tools that is available in the collaborative suite, which is Microsoft 365, and see how that can be implemented within your businesses to be able to gain advantage of the latest technology and the efficiencies that it can have. The basic aspect that you will learn from hopefully that the takeaway is the technology is what's going to allow us to do the exponential growth within our businesses, to allow us to do more with less. And then, basically what is we're tasked as to, focus on nonlinear growth. And that is what the focus that would allow, that would be, especially the small businesses would gain with the incorporation of such technology. So with that, I'll just transfer over to Hamid. I think he's kicking it off. So any questions, please feel free to add it to the chat, and then we will get to it towards the end. Thank you. Hamid.
Thank you, Jawad. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Hamid Malik. So I would start with the current trends we see in the workplace. We'll start with that. We'll then focus on the challenges and opportunities. So with that, let me start with the current trends. So in the workplace trends, the Work Trend Index, which is Microsoft's latest research on the ways we work, they conducted a survey during 2019 and 2020 calendar years, and they surveyed around 66,000 employees at 84 different organizations around the world. And they found out, and they reported that 41% of employees are considering leaving their current employer this year, and 46% say they are likely to move because they can now work remotely. Remote job postings on LinkedIn increased more than 5 times during the pandemic. Weekly meeting time has more than doubled for Microsoft Teams users since February 2020. And another fact is that the number of emails delivered to commercial and education customers in February compared to the same month last year in February was up by 40.6 billion. So the question comes then, what does the workplace trend tells us? So one thing we notice is that the digital transformation is taking place, and there's a trend of adopting a cloud-first approach. So we need to reflect on how does this trend impact our business. This is where things are headed, whether we like it or not. we need to gauge where does our business fit on this scale. So have you made the changes accordingly or not yet? Or somewhere we're in the middle. What are our expectations from our employees? And vice versa. That is, what are the expectations of the employees from us? So we have to analyze whether this trend is giving us an opportunity or a challenge. Before we narrow our focus on what challenges are being faced by small and medium businesses, let's first define what is the definition of SMB, that is small and medium business. So Microsoft defines SMBs as businesses with less than 500 employees or having up to 250 PCs. So we will be using this definition going forward. Now, with that definition in mind, let's dive into the minds of our SMBs and the challenges they are facing. So there are three things we notice. The first one is the challenge is how to improve collaboration within our workplace. How can we be more flexible and adaptable? How to enable employees to work from multiple locations. Another challenge is that how can we maintain security? There are a multitude of personal and mobile devices. So how to secure those devices? And given that not all SMBs have full-fledged IT department. And the third challenge is how can we reduce our costs while adapting to the changing work environments and making everything secure. Let me share with you some other numbers, stats. There was a survey conducted by McKinsey and Company in 2020, and they reported that 65% of US SMBs say they have reduced business spending. And the top 5 categories were payroll, inventory, advertising, professional services, maintenance, and then repair and operations. Then Harvard Business Review, in April, they reported that 40% had fewer employees than at the beginning of 2020. Another Kaspersky lab report stated that SMBs in the US and Canada have the highest recovery cost from a security breach. It's like around $149,000 on average. And there's 11% expected year-on-year growth in security spending. So the question comes is, what do these challenges mean? So it means that our operational capacity is shrinking, it's going down. General trend is we're doing more with less. So when economy was humming, the cost of doing the business was not much, or at least we did not feel it. However, at this time, this is not the case. Our budgets have been reduced and the workforce has been reduced as well. And this is putting more pressure on the existing workforce that we have. One thing to note is that when we get more digital, we get more data. And with that, more people get engaged with the technology. And then security becomes a concern. Hence, we see the previous slide that there was $149,000 average ticket for a security breach and 11% year-on-year expected growth in security spending. Another fact is that the biggest challenge that people face is not the fact that they do not want to change. Biggest challenge is that they want to do it, but don't know how to get started. So we talked about challenges, and let's focus on opportunities. There was an analysis, Mason said the survey, and they surveyed over 400 SMBs in USA between April and May of 2020 to assess how their businesses adapted to the pandemic and how they expect to change in the future. It was noted that the majority of SMBs have been proactive in adapting to the COVID crisis. Many SMBs had to quickly adapt or adopt new IT solutions to respond to the COVID crisis. From people's perspective, result was that 76% adapted by enabling remote work. From a tools standpoint, another research done, there was 184% expected surge in video collaboration. So what are the opportunities here? One of the advantages of a small organization is that they are agile. They are able to change relatively quickly compared to a large organization. In the previous slides, we talked about challenge of doing more with less. And the only way you can do more with less is by taking advantage of technology. So every business is aiming for non-linear growth. Now, what is non-linear growth in summary? Any growth that causes the output Y to be larger than input X is known as non-linear growth or exponential growth. So one example of that growth will be that if I have 10 people working, everyone works 40 hours a week, my non-linear growth will be to use the same 10 people, but increase their output within those 40 hours. And how do you do that? You need to add a catalyst. And in this particular case, the catalyst is technology. So opportunity for SMB is that you are small and not a large enterprise. So you are not dealing with a lot of people and you have a lot to gain from leveraging technology. Why? Because your adaptability is there. Another biggest challenge or inefficient process is change management. So when you are a small organization, you're nimble, you're agile. You have to do less to change and a lot to gain from the change. So your people are adaptable and you facilitate that with the set of tools and technologies. So let's identify some opportunities to leverage technology to remove inefficiencies and in activities where time is wasted. So there are some examples. For the first one is human to human interaction. When you are dependent on someone else, when you're waiting on someone else to make a decision, right? For example, in the approval process or so. Or another example is when you're looking for information versus information being brought to you. There are a lot of inefficient and manual processes. So that's inefficiency, that's inefficient. So we talked about the challenges, we talked about the opportunities, and we do come to conclusion that technology is what you need to leverage, right? To take advantage of. So you need technology to promote collaboration, to enhance teamwork. You need technology to improve communication with the team members and stakeholders, whether they are external or internal. And you need technology to increase efficiency. You need tools and technologies to improve productivity. You need to automate inefficient and manual processes. And you have to utilize workflows and our AI, artificial intelligence, in making decisions. That's how you'll achieve that exponential growth. So now let's talk about solutions. So which companies exist out there who can support and who provide these tool sets? So answer is many. There are many technologies, there are many tools, there are many companies into it. You have Googles of the world, you have Zoom, you have Asana, ServiceNow, and you also have Microsoft. So in our case, we're going for Microsoft. Now, why Microsoft? So a couple of reasons. The first one is that it's comprehensive and easy to use. It provides an ecosystem. It is not just one product, it has a family of products. You can simplify your technology investment and help reduce costs. So another one is that every time you use the technology, the first thing that comes to mind, of course, is security. How is your security? And so Microsoft has become one of the largest security providers in the world over the past few years and invests more than $1 billion per year in security research and development. And another reason is, Microsoft is a well-established company, and Gartner, which is a global research and advisory firm, and it's a member of an S&P 500, they have named Microsoft a security leader in 5 Gartner Magic Quadrants. I'll share the slide in a second. And they also have they've named Microsoft as a leader in Gartner Magic Quadrants for meeting solutions, unified communication as a service, which is Microsoft Teams. We have content service platform, which is Microsoft the SharePoint, industrial IoT platforms, and to name a few. They also have named as a visionary in terms of automating, like Power Automate and other stuff. So here's a slide which which talks about the Gartner findings. So content service, UCAS, meeting solutions, Microsoft Teams, and the next one is, as I mentioned earlier, is the Microsoft being a security leader. So in access management, in cloud access security brokers, in enterprise information archiving, endpoint protection platforms, and unified endpoint management tools. So these are the reasons that we are going with Microsoft. Now with that, I would introduce Haris, and I would ask him to take over from here.
Hamid, can you move on to the next slide, please? So let's talk about Microsoft 365 benefits and why Microsoft is something that you'd like to work with. The first benefit is obvious, that you get a single solution that provides a complete productivity suite, security, compliance, a suite of collaboration tools, all that is ready to go with the cloud deployment. That lets you get started rather quickly. The other benefit that you get is it's a single solution that simplifies cost. So if you're working with multiple vendors, one of the things that you get you run into is that licensing gets complicated very fast. You have multiple vendors that you need to manage, and your users are going to different products. With an integrated solution, Microsoft offers lowering the support costs and maintenance costs, and ensuring that you're able to focus on driving your business. Another benefit that you get is that it's a subscription-based model, so you pay as you go. So you only pay per month based on your contract, and then you can, if you don't need it anymore, you can just shut it off. So you only pay for what you use. Along with that, you also get enterprise-grade technology. So things like AI-powered threat intelligence for end-to-end security, including endpoint security for your devices. This also includes mobile device management that can identify risky sign-ins. So if you're signing in from a device that the threat intelligence identifies as risky, for example, you're signing in from a location that you've never signed in before, it will ask you for multi-factor authentication and ensure that you're only able to access if the system is satisfied. Along with that, all of your data in the cloud is encrypted at rest. So it ensures that everything that you're putting out there is secured, is compliant, and is encrypted. Next slide, please. So as the flexible work becomes the norm, businesses are looking for ways to do it better. This brings us to Microsoft Teams. Teams provide a single place for organization to collaborate instead of separate products. It enables users to go to one place for their apps, video conferences, audio calls, one-on-one chat, group chat, and project-based activities. It also allows access to shared files and history of conversations, including real-time conversations. Integrated app experiences can also be enabled that allow you to customize business workflows and ensure that any products that you have built locally or are used in your business are integrated with Teams. Enabling secure access is really the first step towards enabling security of remote work. As this becomes the norm, Microsoft 365 provides you with this set of tools that can protect against loss of stolen passwords by using additional layer of security, using multi-factor authentication that we discussed in the last slide, along with risky sign-in detection and artificial intelligence threat detection. It provides the right people with the right access to work on apps using Azure AD with capabilities such as conditional access and single sign-on. Another feature that Microsoft 365 provides is app proxy that helps employees access on-premise apps without enabling full network access to the organization. So employees can only access the app that is deployed on your premise without accessing other resources through app proxy. Another area of growth for the Office 365 users has been with remote desktop access using Windows Virtual Desktop. With Windows Virtual Desktop, employees are able to access remote apps on any device, and they can maintain, the organization is able to maintain central management and security of the user's desktop. Some of the scenarios that are where Windows Virtual Desktop can be used are medical billers and transcriptions that use Office apps along with electronic health records. They need to be secured in a cloud environment while ensuring regulatory compliance because there is sensitive patient data. Another example is warehouse workers that can access desktop shipping and inventory apps directly from their iOS or Android devices. Business owners are also able to use accounting software from their home or mobile devices, and the accounting data remains secured in a central location. Another pillar for Office 365 is securing data and protecting against cyber threats. Sensitive data may come in multiple forms. It can be personal customer details or payment information, employee records, intellectual property, or contracts. Protecting this data with Microsoft 365 includes automatically securing against cyber threats like phishing and ransomware with advanced threat protection, protecting data leaks with data loss prevention in Office 365, controlling access to email and files using encryption, and gaining visibility into the cloud apps employees are using to store and share information. Finally, maintaining security and control when customers are working from home starts with managing the work data that users end up putting on mobile devices. Next slide, please. The question now becomes, how do you help your business grow and adjust to the new ways that teams work? How can you enable greater collaboration and boost productivity across your entire organization? What if you could just create a single solution that lets your employees work anywhere on any device and includes email, calendars, and file storage, as well as a hub for teamwork? With Microsoft 365, you get all of these familiar products, apps your employees use every day, like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, in addition to a collaboration platform that connects your people to communication channel, online resources, and meetings they need to get the work done. And what's great is the solution already includes simple device management and always-on security to protect your data and defend against advanced cyber threats. Next slide, please. A single solution from Microsoft lets your employees work from anywhere on any device and includes email, calendar, file storage, internet, and collaboration tools. Bring your own device is becoming a necessity in today's world. As flexible work schedule becomes more common, employees will need to work on any device from anywhere. Microsoft's solution includes device management to ensure that work data on personal devices is protected. In case of stolen and lost devices, all organizational data can be remotely via the click of a button, while ensuring that no personal data is impacted on personal devices. On work devices, the entire device can be wiped clean. This enables you to work remotely in real time and work in online meetings from anywhere, and work with your external vendors and partners while ensuring that everything is secured from the get-go. Next slide, please. Microsoft Teams solves for the communication and collaboration needs of a diverse workforce. You can stay on top of your workday by easily accessing your files, chats, and apps in one place across desktop, web, and mobile. You can use Teams for informal one-on-one or group chats, or can have open conversations in the channel. This enables you to share information in a transparent way for faster decision-making. You can collaborate in real time by co-authoring files and sharing them quickly and easily with people inside and outside your company. Plus, with shared documents in the cloud, you get the benefit of version control and data loss prevention. One of the use cases for version control is if you're working on a contract. Normally what happens in many organizations is that you'd send a copy to somebody and they propose changes to it, and then they email it back to you. And then there's a lot of back and forth on the email, and eventually you may lose track of what is the final version. With Microsoft co-authoring, you can actually allow multiple people to work on the same document, so there is only a single source of truth. And with the version control ability built into Microsoft Documents, you can always go back to a previous version to see what has happened and how has this document changed. Next slide, please. Microsoft Teams allows individuals to join meetings from a range of platform and devices, including desktop, browser, mobile, and meeting room devices. Microsoft Teams offers a complete meeting solution supporting sharing, videos, audio conferencing that enables you to meet from anywhere. You can use Teams for all types of meetings, spontaneous, scheduled, formal, with internal and external users. This also includes large one-to-many meetings like Zoom. All meetings provide a contextual experience so that you have the context and content you need right at your fingertips before, during, and after the meeting, including conversation history files, meeting notes, and apps associated with the meeting. Teams supports a range of intelligent devices and services which can understand the spoken and even unspoken nuance of meetings, even when they're not in the room. Carry those insights into your broader team experience and create opportunities for everyone to collaborate in a more immersive ways. Teams allows you to schedule and join a meeting with others without technology getting into the way. Using tools like meeting scheduling assist, screen sharing, and collaborative note-taking as part of online meetings give people the context and content at their fingertips before, during, and after a meeting. This also includes conversation history, like we noted above. Next slide, please. It is common in today's world for teams to work with contractors, consultants, and other types of people outside your organization. Guest access in Microsoft 365 allows those people to fully participate and collaborate right along with you, including scheduling a team meeting with anyone who has a valid business or consumer email address, making and receiving phone calls from anywhere with a cloud-based phone system built directly into Teams, and the availability of Teams in desktop, mobile, and browser-based versions. Next slide, please. So let's talk about Office 365 and Microsoft 365 plans. Office 365 plans include all of your traditional Office apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, along with SharePoint, OneDrive with dedicated storage per user depending on different plans, Microsoft Teams, information protection plan, which encrypts email messages and includes data loss prevention for emails and files, auditing and compliance capabilities, information protection that can help secure email, document, and other data that you may share outside your company, Power Platform that includes automation, no-code apps that anyone can build, and reporting and visualization. Along with all of this, information can be accessed on any device using web, mobile, desktop apps, and on any and all platforms. Single sign-on is also a big benefit that you get with Office 365, which allows any of your apps to connect to Microsoft Azure Active Directory. So you have one place to sign into all of your cloud and on-premise applications. There are some other apps that you may not know of, but they're part of many Office 365 and Microsoft 365 apps, including a scheduling app, Microsoft Sway for creating visually striking newsletters, presentations, and documentations, Microsoft Forms for creating surveys, quizzes, and polls, think Google Forms, but in Microsoft, Microsoft Planner for organizing teamwork, assigning tasks, and getting updates from various members across different time zones. Microsoft Shift to enable frontline workers and their managers to manage schedules and keep in touch. This also includes the ability right in the app to request for leave. All of this plus more is exposed via API, so you can integrate into any of your internal apps. Along all of this, Microsoft Store enables third-party apps designed for Office 365 to be added to enhance and optimize the workflows that you may have. Microsoft 365 for enterprise generally includes Office 365, Windows 10, and Microsoft Enterprise Mobility and Security Solution, which includes Compliance Manager, Endpoint Security, MDM, etc. For SMBs, the Windows 10 license is not included, but it is included if you go for the Microsoft 365 Enterprise plan. However, the Windows desktop, a virtual desktop, is included in the SMB. Microsoft marketing plans are based on various market segments, including enterprise, SMB, not-for-profit, government, and home and personal use. So based on where you fall, there's always a solution from Microsoft that can cover your requirements. So if you're SMB, you can get the multiple SMB plans that Microsoft offers. If you're not-for-profit, Microsoft has various not-for-profit Office 365 plans as well. And I'm quickly going to share my screen and quickly show you a few of the Office 365 apps just to give you a touch of how Office 365 can help you get things done. So a very quick overview of some of the apps that are offered with Office 365. So let's go over a few different things that you get with Office 365. When you log into your Office 365 portal, you get something like this that has all of your documents neatly stacked. These are the recommended documents that have been either sent by my customer, colleagues, or supervisors that I can look at what's happening. Everything else is here. I can see all of my documents, what were my recent documents, some of the shared ones. Along with that, I get a list of all of the apps that Microsoft provides. So these are all the different apps that Microsoft provides. You have a booking app that allows, this is by the way, part of the Office 365 suite, that allows your customers to schedule booking. So you don't need to have a separate application for that. For example, if you're a salon or any consulting firm where somebody is coming in to see you, they can book a slot right off your website. You have the Compliance Center, you have standard Office 365 apps like Excel, Microsoft Project, PowerPoint, SharePoint, which is a collaboration and a content management tool. You have a to-do list. Along with that, you have Teams, which we're going to talk more about in the next session. You also get a YouTube-like video streaming platform where you can upload your organizational videos, for example, training documents or how-to documents and so on and so forth. You also get OneNote, which is Microsoft's note-taking platform. This is Microsoft SharePoint's homepage. This is the collaboration and document management tool by Microsoft. So this shows me what's been happening in my, as a user, what's been happening around me. For each user, it's going to surface things that are relevant to them. So for me, it's surfacing things that are relevant to me. It includes all of the documents. There, you can set up workflows in here, and you can do document management. And this also serves as an intranet site for your both your customers, vendors, and for internal resources. This is an intranet site, a demo intranet site, just to show you what SharePoint can do. So you can have links to different applications and gather everything into a single place. You can have your event surface from various third-party plugins. So if you have everything in your Outlook, you can have it surface here. It also shows things that are relevant to you. So these are my recent sites, along with any video content that you want to surface. So this basically acts as a portal for your internal employees, and whatever you publish there would be accessible to them. And finally, Microsoft Teams. This is just my view of the people that I'm working with. So Microsoft Teams offers you a live feed of people that you're talking to. So this is a live feed of events that have been happening in my Teams. You have a dedicated section for one-on-one chat. So if I want to talk to somebody, I can have one chat with either internal employees at the organization or external vendors as well. Along with that, you get the ability to share files, links, screenshot. You can react to messages and so on and so forth. Any files that you share with them show up here. And then you can also see like how they relate to you in the organization. Then you also have the a separate section where you can organize things by different projects. So this is one of the projects that I'm working on, and this is a product that we internally work on, and this allows our teams to collaborate. And you can post and do things like that. Along with that, you can also see all of the files that we have shared, any documentation for this project. So all of that essentially allows you to work in a single location and surface all of your apps in Teams. You have calendar built right into it. And then there is calling capabilities. So you can make a call directly from here. And then you also have the ability to integrate multiple apps from here by just adding an app. Microsoft offers a store with plenty of apps, and you can also build your custom ones. So that is pretty much it from my side. If you have any questions at this time, we can surface those through.
And Haris gave an overview how these things look. But in the subsequent sessions next week, for example, we'll be talking about Microsoft Teams, and we'll take you on how to do it. So, how to schedule an invite, or how to use it, some of the best practices going forward. Similarly, we'll the week after we'll be covering SharePoint, and tell you how data is stored, how file is stored and shared and stored. And then last session we'll cover the Power Platform. So it's a low code, no code development. So even if you don't have to be a developer, but how you can be quickly build applications. So we will cover those things in subsequent sessions at the high level. So with that, Jawad, anything you'd like?
Yes. So thank you very much, Haris and Hamid, and I hope it was informational to get started. And as it was pointed out, that there's many organizations who are either already have some components of Microsoft, they are or otherwise thinking about it, or but they are challenged with in terms of how to get best value out of these tools. So what we are hoping from this series is to help establish that that value proposition from within your organization, so that you can actually start using it beyond yourself. So often what we are seeing is that the people are doing this at an individual level or at a departmental level, but not really gaining the enterprise value from it. And then the other aspect of that is just generally when you are working within your organizations to try to figure out where the value stands with amongst different tools that are available to you. We all are exposed to Zoom. We are talking about ServiceNow and Asana and others. So how does a platform that allows you to work under one ecosystem helps you? Or just generally speaking, what does a cloud platform offer you in terms of gaining the efficiencies that we talked about to be able to do more with less? Because most of us, we are more focused on our business as we should be, but often we also find, especially in small to mid-sized businesses, people start to wear multiple hats. There are people who are in operations but trying to take care of IT, or there are people who are in sales and they're quasi-IT professional as well. And what that does is that reduces the efficiency and actually gets you focused on things that don't matter much to the output of your business. So really what we're trying to pitch here is the fact that any of these systems would allow you to one, offload responsibilities, that these are the responsibilities that you're offloading actually to Microsoft. So by putting it into cloud, to be able to have a cloud-based infrastructure where you don't really need 10 IT professionals to be able to do that. So that actually helps you in terms of reducing your infrastructure as well. So you don't have to now have tons of servers sitting in your data center or in often many cases in a closet. You can move it into the cloud and give you a more flexible and predictable cost. Haris talked about the fact that it's pay as you go. You are looking at not making a capital investment into a set of infrastructure and people that would continuously needs to be maintained and managed. You will be flexible and you will be able to get a predictable cost structure. And it overall reduces the complexity of your organization. It allows you to have an, as we said, ecosystem that is designed to work together. You're not left to figure out how one application integrates with the other and how we train one set of people on this application and another set of people on a different application. It all works together. And then you have one common vendor to work with. And the other thing is having it being a cloud-based system, which is mobile ready, it allows you to have anywhere access. So you can actually be, so we talked about remote, we talked about agility within your workplace. We talked about, how the flexibility needs to be there to be able to have access to the data, have access to be able to make decisions, have access to make, to your documents. You don't have to now worry about, where and how do we connect, because it's all connected through Microsoft cloud platform, and which, by the way, is also secured. You saw all the security certifications that Microsoft has, so you don't have to worry too much about the security aspect that otherwise within your four walls, you are responsible to ensure that is secure. And then you have common platforms like SharePoint that would allow you to integrate all your data, right? So you have a common place to synchronize your data. You have, automation capabilities and integration capabilities that are now readily available within one set of suite. And then we talked about the efficiencies that you will start to gain from this. So we started out with our theme of nonlinear growth. We started out our theme with exponential growth, doing more with less. What we hope is that with this introduction, you have been able to at least recognize that there's a capability that technology can offer you within your businesses to be able to take advantage of that. So now, as I said earlier, if that has been established, now the question is what to do, when to do, how did Greg already ask in terms of, okay, well, I have some of this, where do I get training? So I will post a few links. Actually, I don't know if they have been posted already, but I don't think they've been posted to you, Greg. But there's a lot of, the other good thing about Microsoft is, as a matter of fact, a while back, I was humbled with a statement that I actually just asked one of the Microsoft reps, I said, what is your customer base? And it says, everybody in the world. And that is so true, because one way or the other, we touch Microsoft through their documents, through their, Office 365 platform, Microsoft 365, anywhere. And so therefore, the good thing with that is that it is an ecosystem that is universal. That is something that we all are one way or the other used to. So that allows us to gain a lot of compatibility within our businesses to be able to perform efficiently. So the next thing, so there's a lot of training available. Haris already talked about marketplace that is available. So there's a lot of stuff that is available. There's a lot of partners that are available, but Microsoft themselves have a vested interest in ensuring that this product is successful for them. So they themselves on their platform also offer a lot of training material. So we will post a few links in the chat right now so that you can actually take advantage of that. But otherwise, I hope that this was helpful, and it was not intended to be a tutorial. We can't train within 1 hour, and it was not intended to be a seminar on licensing either. If you have any specific questions, please do reach out to us. We will be able to help navigate. Net licensing can get complicated. So we will help you navigate through that, or put you into the right contact with CDW or Microsoft to be able to get the proper licensing. Otherwise, we look forward to having you in our next session. And then it will actually start to be a little bit more engaging in terms of, if you're more of the person that likes to see demos and stuff like that, you will see how some of these use cases, although we are only touching the surface still, we're only talking about 3 of the many applications that are available. So we will focus on Teams. That's the biggest question right now. We will focus on Power Applications, Power Platform for automation and AI, and then SharePoint for collaboration. So with that, and once again, I will thank you. I don't know if anybody has the ability to post the links there.
I did post one.
Thank you
very much.
Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. This was an exciting overview of what is to come, preview of what is to come, and we look forward to the next 3 weeks learning more about each of these applications and how they will benefit particularly chamber members that are small businesses, as well as those that are medium-sized. So have a great day, everybody, and we will see you next Wednesday. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.